Up and Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up and Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Monday, let's do this. How you doing? Thanks for being Up and Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. You've heard the phrase, men are simple. But what if they're not? What if they're just misunderstood by women, by other men, even by themselves? Coming up, a conversation that brilliantly and hilariously cracks open the male mind like a cold beer on a Saturday afternoon. Author and legendary music executive Tom Sturges joins me with insight that's tender, unfiltered, and straight up useful for anyone who's ever loved a man, been a man, or tried to figure one out. From signing Foo Fighters and 50 Cent to decoding the eternal 14-year-old male psyche, veteran music exec Tom Sturges is turning his decades of industry insight, fatherhood, heartbreak, and humor into his boldest project yet. It's called Men Explained, finally, with stories from inside the boy brain and wisdom shaped by love, beer, and maybe a few ex-wives. Tom pulling the curtain back gently on why men are why they are and why women might want to stop trying to change them. Men Explained, finally, is packed with truths most men won't admit and most women never hear. You're not going to want to miss this chat. Just ahead, Tom Sturges is going to be Up and Adam. I got to say, over the weekend, the cancer support community had a wonderful time emceeing that event. As I just get so thankful to be asked back every year. It's one of those events I love doing, especially working with so many great nonprofits here. But, one that for sure affected me with, after losing my mom to cancer almost 25 years ago. And it feels crazy to say that because it just feels like yesterday still. But making sure that people who face cancer, whether it's the patients, the families, or whoever, doesn't have to go at it alone. It's an incredible mission, an incredible worthy work that the cancer support community does. The money stays right here. They honored some fantastic physicians, and we even had a chance to honor Dr. Justin Davis. Austin Hope made this beautiful 3-liter bottle with this piece of art with his face on it. Oh, it was just very moving to have all those feelings get brought up again. And of course, his lovely wife, Lisa, was in the audience. It was just a heavy but a beautiful night. So I can't thank the cancer support community for having me back, and all the great auction lots and the people and all the wine donated. It was just a fun and beautiful evening, and I feel very lucky to be a part of it. One of the things they did was really creative, this Crack the Safe raffle, where inside was a bunch of different prizes. They even did lotto tickets and Powerball, because that Powerball, I think was what, 1.8 billion? Well, somebody cracked it. They got it after more than 3 months of no winners. The Powerball hit Saturday night, and not just anywhere. 2 tickets split that monster $1.8 billion jackpot. One came from Missouri, the other from a little gas station convenience store in Fredericksburg, Texas. The winning numbers, 11, 23, 44, 61, and 62. Powerball number was 17. And if you've been holding on to your ticket, you might want to double check. The odds of hitting all 6 numbers, an insane 1 in 292 million. That's by design. By the way, the harder it is to win, the bigger these jackpots climb to. This one was the second largest jackpot in U.S. history, rolling over 41 times since the last big hit on May 31st. If either of those winners decide to take it slow, the annuity pays out over 29 years. But let's be real, most folks grab that cash option. In this case, it would be a cool $826 million right up front. Like, what else do you need? I mean, that money would just work for itself, invested conservatively. You'd be fine. Unbelievable. Powerball's played in 45 states plus DC, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. $2 a shot, 3 drawings a week. And every so often, somebody walks into a gas station and walks out with a ticket worth almost $1 billion. Damn. It's crazy. All right, I'm excited to get into today's show. Before that, I want to thank my friends at Life Elements for being up and at 'em. You know I love a good local story. And this one's got it all. It's got heart, hustle, and best of all, most of all, healing. Life Elements, based right here in Atascadero, a woman minority-owned company making small batch bath, body, and wellness products that are straight up alchemy. Their CBD relief sticks, legendary. Their EcoSmart deodorants, absolute game changers. Yes, of course, hit them up online at lifeelements.com. You can even use the promo code Adam, save 15%. But let me encourage you to swing by in person. There's spots on El Camino Real, like everything else in Atascadero. 7425 El Camino Real, Suite O, back right corner of the plaza. You can't miss it. Big sign. This is local love at its best. And I truly believe, like we say, happy food comes from a happy kitchen. Happy wine comes from a happy cellar. Happy eggs come from happy chickens, for crying out loud. So I truly believe these products work. Yes, the science, but because these are good people. Support local, feel better. You got to tell them Adam sent you to Life Elements. Get to lifeelements.com for more.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guest today, a man who has spent decades surrounded by music legends, signing and collaborating with artists like Foo Fighters, Outkast, 50 Cent, Smashing Pumpkins. And now he's turning that same finely tuned ear towards decoding men themselves. He's a father of 3 sons, a mentor, a professor, and an author whose latest book, Men Explained, finally takes an honest, sometimes hilarious, and wildly insightful swing at answering the questions so many have asked. Why are men the way they are? From boyhood brain wiring to duct tape level coping mechanisms, Tom Sturges is here to pull the curtain back and maybe even help us love the men in our lives a little bit better, or at least help us understand them. Let's get to our chat with Tom Sturges, Up and Adam.
Just pronouncing that, would you want me to tell you? San Luis.
San Luis.
Do you say San Luis?
Yes, it's technically San Luis. They'll roast you. Like if Russell Brand and Whitney Cummings, they did some acts here and they said San Luis and people gave it to them a little bit. Yeah, we don't really.
Kind of like Houston Street in Manhattan, and some people say, it's Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's like that. Yeah. So I always know it as San Luis Obispo. I went to UC Davis. So,
oh, cool. Yeah, no, it's funny because a lot of people who are not from here but have an affinity for the area, it's just kind of like a loose way that they put it, but it's really it's Spanish. It's not like, so it would be, if anything, it'd be like Luis, but yeah, they don't like the San Luis. I mean, people don't freak out over it because we're pretty chill here, but at least you know, right?
Aren't you right up the street from UC Santa Cruz? Isn't that right near you too?
Yeah, I mean, Santa Cruz maybe a little more than an hour away, but yeah, we're right near like Pismo Beach, Paso Wine Country, the Madonna Inn. Yeah, you in LA or what, New York?
I'm in New York at the moment with your best friend Bill.
Nice.
And I'm traveling, but I live in Manhattan Beach in Southern California.
Oh, cool. Great. Oh, you got to come up here then if you haven't before.
Do you golf?
Not very well, but I do for like radio things or.
I'll golf anywhere.
Well, look, I mean, I think I got you for 15 minutes now, right? Is that right, Bill?
Can you do 20?
I can do anything you like.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is the end. Okay, good. Then I'll get my questions.
As I say in the book, men aim to please. Yeah. So I'm yours as long as you want me.
I love it. Now, you in the book, and I love it. And thanks for being up and at 'em. I really appreciate you, Tom. You say men are 14 forever. And that sentence is funny until you realize how devastatingly true it can be. What do you think men gain by staying emotionally frozen at that age? And what do we lose by it?
Okay, so I would challenge the word frozen because that would imply that there's not life and thrills and happiness. I just think that's the maximum capacity. Like if you were riding your little red wagon down the street, you're probably going to get about 4 miles an hour, and that's max. You're going to it's not going to go any faster than that. And that's kind of what I believe we are. We have a capacity for a certain amount of love and a certain amount of joy and happiness, but beyond that, it's all amorphous dust. We are these children who enjoy every day, just the pleasures of the day, the thrill of being alive, yet another moment. So I don't think we're frozen in our place. I think that's just where we are at the maximum of our happiness and possibility.
You write that men are natural givers, but only if asked with grace. I love that. Otherwise, the drawbridge, it goes up. What does that tell you about the male ego and the kinds of emotional invitations men are willing to accept?
So the male ego to me is a fantasy. It's a trip that we are. Since we barely know who we are anyway, because we're 14 and we're still waiting for somebody to come in and put in all the additional parts.
Yeah.
We're just there ready to please the people who are in our lives. Think about how many people we have to please. We got to please our parents. We got to please our spouses and girlfriends. We got to please the people we work with. And then when you're done with all that, you got to please your kids. So it's who we are. It's our nature to please the people in our lives, and if we can find a way to do that that's interesting for us, I think that works. That's how we stay happy.
Women listening, going, did he say partners and girlfriends? What's he mean by that?
It's the long list of people and who we are. I hope. I don't think we are smart enough to have multiple relationships.
Of course.
I think the miracle is to have one relationship. And I wake up in the morning, I say hi to my wife, and I'm like, I can't believe she's still here. This is unreal. And whatever I did, thank goodness I did it. And let's just pretend it's all supposed to be this way.
You talk about flames. Speaking of them, you talk about men preferring the memory of an old flame to the reality of reigniting it even. And that's kind of poetic, kind of tragic. Why do you think men romanticize the past so much harder than the present?
I think we are in love with our innocence, and I think we loved those days. When we look back and you think, oh, I remember my first baseball game, or I remember the first time I ate a piece of apple pie with ice cream. I mean, we actually remember these things, but what we particularly remember are those dings on our heart when we saw some beautiful girl. And by the way, I think it's 3rd, 4th, 5th grade when we fall in love the first time. Mm-hmm. And do you remember the first girl you fell in love with, Adam?
Absolutely do. Desiree Riley.
Okay. And I say in the book, ask the man next to you if he remembers the first girl. He not only remembers both her names, but he can remember a piece of clothing or how she looked getting in and out of her mom's car.
Yeah.
So Desiree Riley, it's not like we want to call her and, hey, you want you free for dinner?
Yeah.
I just want to remember the beauty of how much I loved you way, way back when. Yeah. And I do this thing. It's called. I tried to get Hallmark to do this with me. They didn't do it. It's called Reunion Day. And for my reunion day, it's all the kids I went to 1st and 2nd grade with.
Oh my God! No way.
We're doing this for 20 years, and I look at them now, all of them my age, but I remember how much I loved them in 2nd and 3rd grade when, like, bumping shoulders in the coat room was as close to a sexual experience as I was going to get in 3rd grade. But I'll never forget it, and I'll never forget the innocence as it disappeared as I got older. But the memory of those moments is perfection.
Did you do therapy? You sound like you just have a lot of self-awareness and a good grip on things. And did you ever go through times where you did therapy?
No, I have never.
Really?
But I had some crazy things happen to me. So when I was 13, my mom joined a cult called Synanon and gave them our home, all our possessions, her car, and me. And so from 13, I've been pretty much on my own.
Wow, Tom.
And have had to come to grips with who I am, what I am, and how I maintain my place in this world without losing my grip on all that got me here.
What an incredible journey. I mean, you flip the classic question in the book. You don't ask why men are hard to love. You say, why would a woman love us in the first place?
Exactly.
Think about it. Is male insecurity?
What do we really have to offer? I mean, we're 14. We're clinging to our realities because we don't know. I kissed you like this and you liked it. Okay, I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, when I made you laugh. And you liked that. Okay, I'll try and do that again. so that we're kind of like wombats, like feeling our way through the universe until something works, and we'll go, okay, I'm going to do that again. But how we get a woman to fall in love with us, oh my God, it's the mystery of all our lives.
You talk about men compartmentalizing, and not really to avoid emotion, but to survive it. Is that emotional survival, or is it emotional self-sabotage? And as men, we do sometimes have a problem avoiding things.
Yes, because we keep stepping into the wrong box. So we have the box of our heroic deeds. We have the box of things I wish I had never said. We have the box of our greatest challenges and of the box of our love affairs. But that's how we survive, because the maelstrom of emotions that come at us on any given day, at any given moment, you can never get away from them. There's a box I have called Things I Wish I'd Never Said. Which includes having a little too much to drink at a wedding and mentioning to the guy next to me that the bride had on a heck of a lot of makeup just as the organist stopped playing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I was
my
like, and then
God.
like I could feel the whole freaking church looking up. She's got a lot of makeup on.
I worked at a wine bar one time. I'll kind of match you just so you don't feel that bad. I worked at a wine bar one time, and I was pretty new there. And one of the gals there was a super cute gal, and she was coming in. She comes in with this person I thought was her mom, and it was just like a little bit older, also attractive woman. And I just made a mention of it being her mom. It was her friend, and it was just like the most like effed up thing. And I felt so bad. That box, put it in the box of things I shouldn't have said.
Right. I also in that box is me asking a woman when her baby was due.
Oh, I don't think it was anything worse than that, my man. Ouch.
Do not ask that question. Do not.
No.
When's your baby? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oof.
I don't care if the water is broke, the umbilical cord is hanging out. I'm just like looking up right in the eyes. I'm just not even acknowledging it.
That's so perfect. Exactly right. Yeah, that box for me is unfortunately stuffed with little memories, and I keep them in that box so they don't slither out and attack me at any other moment in my life.
You know, it's pretty beautiful. That one thing that you talk about in the book, and it's so true. You write that we're both geniuses and idiots. And that would be okay if we at least knew which one we were being at the time. A lot of the times we don't even know. Is it self-delusion? Is it a defense mechanism for staying afloat? What's going on there?
I think we are a storm of little boys all in one little boy. And the example I gave is this gentleman, one of the smartest people I ever met, 2 PhDs, wrote a book about surgery and how to take out cancers from various parts of the body. He's truly one of the smartest guys ever. He thought his girlfriend was being unfaithful, and she was on a trip, happened to be in the city I was living in. And he was so beside himself about this that he asked me to help him get out of this box. He would talk about being in a box. He was in this box that she was unfaithful. So his idea, smartest guy I've ever met, his idea was for me to break into the house she was living in and put a tape recorder on the shelf behind her bed with a voice activated thing so he could hear, or I could get this tape of her having sex with somebody. And I was like, whoa. I said, you have 2 PhDs and this is what you came up with? And I said, so let's just play this out. If I happen to go and break into this person's house to put this tape recorder in there, how do I get the tape recorder out of the house? He goes, oh, well, you have to break in again to go get the tape recorder. I was like, oh my God. How can you? And that's the example I use is the smartest guy I've ever met and the biggest idiot I've ever known are the same 14-year-old guy.
That's crazy. That's such an interesting story.
Einstein, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Einstein, who is the only person who understood how the universe was put together and how the universe works, could not make his marriage work, and would leave notes on the wall of his house telling his wife to leave him alone and put his sandwich in his office and open the door quietly and then shut it after she left. This is the smartest guy who ever lived. and he couldn't figure out how to say to his wife, "Hey, could I have a tuna sandwich this morning?"
Yeah.
He had to write her a letter.
It's crazy. And you get into the book because you've been behind the curtain with like rock stars, hip hop legends, like you just noted, like literal geniuses. But in your book, you see even the most brilliant man, again, still gets the idiot moment. What's something you've seen maybe in the studio with some of these folks that proves your theory that every man, no matter how famous, is still just 14?
Well, I think the biggest baller I've ever met, ever worked with is Paul Anka. And I'm not saying not biggest rock star because I've had the privilege to work with U2 and Bon Jovi and Foo Fighters and other guys, but Paul Anka. So here's the story on Paul Anka. This is the 14-year-old boy come to take the rest of the world to task.
Right.
He had a house on a golf course, Tropicana Avenue, and I'm going to visit him. I just bought his catalog, so I suddenly owned My Way, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, that You're Having My Baby, The Times of My Life. And so we're sitting there and we're just chatting, and he goes, it's the strangest thing. Every other house on this block has sold, and I got new neighbors. I don't know what's going on. And it turns out that the MGM Grand Hotel is secretly buying the golf course and all these properties, and his is the only property that won't sell. So I know it feels off topic, but don't worry, I'm right there.
No, not at all. Go ahead.
So he gets sued by the MGM Grand and by the city of Las Vegas. It goes all the way to the Supreme Court of Nevada that he has to sell them his property because it turns out that his lot is where they're going to put the lion for the right. And he was like, no, I'm not selling. Forget it. I'm not selling. So ultimately, the Supreme Court told him he had to sell his property. So he bought it, I think, for like $60,000 in the sometime in the early '60s. He sold it to them for $4 million. He got a ton of stock, but then the part of the deal was that he was the headliner at their hotel for 12 weeks a year for the next 5 years.
No way.
Can you imagine winning that big and taking your victory lap by going, no, not only am I not selling, but you got to make me your headliner. Thank you very much.
Yes. Talk about baller status. I love that.
That's Paul Anka, man. Paul Anka was a total baller.
That's Puppy Love, right? That was Paul Anka, right? Oh my gosh. You had so what'd you do with the catalog?
We did everything with it. We marketed it. We promoted it. We sold it. I remember doing the first deal. The first commercial for My Way was with a Cadillac company. And I had to go to him and say, hey, are you okay with us getting X amount of money for the use of it? He said, double it. And you know what else he used to do that was it was incredibly rude, but it was such a Godfather type thing to do. He never said goodbye when he got off the phone. He would just go, double it and click and hang up the phone. I'm like, what is that?
I know people like that. That's so funny. I know people like that. No goodbyes, just click. It's so funny. It's old school though.
That's old school gangster, badass. He was an amazing guy to work with.
If you had like that Cracker Jack box decoder ring prize at the bottom, you give to a woman, here's how you understand us. This is what you need to know. What are some of the first benchmarks that you are telling women, here's how you really get us?
We're not as complicated as you think. Deal with us like we are the children that we are, right? We are, I believe, honestly, truly, we're 14 years old. And that's why I put that in there. Just treat us like that. If you want to get something out of us, ask us nicely. We'll do anything as long as you ask nicely. And if you are upset with us, whisper. Do not raise your voice to us because that makes us feel diminished and like idiots. Whereas if you just lean over and go, you're flirting with the waitress. You'd go, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was just being charming. I'm so stupid. Bad me. Whereas if she goes, you know what you're doing? It gets into a whole nother thing.
Or like
and to-
resentful later on. What's wrong? Nothing. I said nothing. And you're right. You don't want to go down those whole. That's brilliant. That's so true. Let's flip that though, Tom. What do you tell? Because sometimes, we're not the easiest things to crack. What do you tell a man? Hey, here's how, if you want to kind of be understood more, these are the things that you need to do and hone in on.
Oh, wow. You know what? That's a curveball because I don't understand women. Honestly, I don't. I can't believe. I mean, I've been married to my beautiful wife for 21 years. I met her when her car ran out of gas on the side of a road, and we've been together since that day. I still can't believe I'm with her. It's unbelievable. So I wouldn't know what to say to a guy other than be completely respectful and be honored by the fact that this woman has even allowed you into her life. Start there and be appreciative of everything that she brings to you is what I would say.
Of the dozens of essays in the book, some hit harder than others, some are lighter, but I bet one haunted you while you wrote it. Was there an essay, one that just kind of like stuck to your ribs? Why did it matter as much as it did to get right?
Oh, wow. Another beautiful question. I wanted so many of these to be insights into the world for my friends, for my pals, for all the men and women I'm going to meet someday. But I would have to say that the one that I felt like I have to build this out of mortar and steel is the idea that women marry men they hope to change, and men hope the women they marry never change. And I think this is such a fundamental thing that we change badly. We get to our 14, we take the cookies out of the oven. They're perfect. They're right. They're funny. They're interesting. And if somebody comes along and tries to change that, that's like changing everything. We change so poorly. And the women we fall in love with, because by the way, we fall in love with the face first and everything else afterwards. And we don't want our women coming home with different hair, or they plucked their eyebrows, or they injected their face. We don't. No, don't do that. Just be you. And we've been saying this about the face, by the way, since Shakespeare. Right. And Marlowe, when he says the face that launched 1,000 ships, and Frank Sinatra, the way you look tonight, and Billy Joel, just the way you are.
You at that wedding.
Yeah. We've always said this. This is who you be, this person, and I'll be happy for the rest of my life. So I think that would be the one where I say, if you could get it into one essay, it's don't try and change us. We'll be better partners with you for all our lives, and please try not to change. You can grow up and get older and get more and all those things, but don't change who you are.
Yeah. There's some certain things too. Like, I mean, I also do a wine show, and I was talking with 4 women who were just recognized locally, but by Wine Enthusiast magazine, and they happen to be local here. So we're just talking about relationships and stuff. And I happened to say, like, as men, we kind of need to know that we're always trying to fix something, our partner's telling us something, want to fix it. When do we just listen versus when do we want to fix, and how to know that is really smart. And you would think like I just like broke into the women's face, like, oh my gosh, how do you know? This is amazing that you know this. You're so so it's amazing. A little bit, you try a little bit, it can go a long way. Writing about men, though, honestly, Tom, it's not just a craft. It's a confession. It's a mirror. And with that, there's risk. I'm curious, what did the book cost you emotionally? And what did it give back when you were done with it?
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you've ever thought of it, you should have a career in radio asking questions, because your questions are fantastic. I got to tell you. It cost me nothing. This was an effortless exercise in truth for me to just look at my life first, because I would feel these things, and I would go check with my mates, and I go, hey, do you think we fall in love with the face first? And I was at a store talking about this book, and there were like 20 people there, half and half men, half women. And I said, so we fall in love with the face first, and every guy is nodding his head like 1,000%, absolutely. And all the women are like, really? Because we don't care what you dress. You can dress nice. That's fine. The feet, it's the face. And so the ability to comprehend the truth and put it forward in that way, that was what I was doing, was synthesizing the truths of my own life and putting it out there. Here's the side piece: is my father died when I was very, very young. I was 3. The last time I saw him, I was 1. So I really never had an understanding of who he was as a man, as a dude. Would he have punched me in the shoulder, or would he have slapped me across the face? I have no idea. And I want my 3 sons to know me and to know who I am and how I proceed through my life, so that in the event that they want to have a little more knowledge about themselves than I had about myself, that it's there for them.
Yeah, just a couple more questions here. And I love that you brought up your sons there. This question kind of leads right into that. A lot of men confuse being tough with being grown. And you argue that they're definitely not the same. When did you first learn that maybe vulnerability might be the manliest thing you could show?
Again, my compliment on the great question. I am always vulnerable because I am always a victim of the truth. So when I was in the music business, right, my job as a music publisher was to find a hit song and then make a decision because of that hit song. So in the song business, you have 3 minutes to get it right. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't care if you've written, and people come and go, I've written hundreds of songs, and I would get like, oh God, can you just play me one song that you think is great? And then I'll make my decision on whether you're talented based on that. And I remember that I had these 2 guys come into my office with a cassette tape, if this gives you an idea how long ago this was. And the 9th song on this cassette tape was Raising Its Hand, because I would put the music on and just, have meetings or phone calls or whatever and see what piece of music stood up. And this one song was really just killing me. I loved it so much. So I went to them and I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $500 if I can own this song. And if I get it covered, my company will own it for the rest of the copyright. And if I don't, you can have the song back. They took that $500 and they walked out like 2 cartoon characters walking out of the casino. The next day, I gave the song to my buddy Ron Fair, who gave it to Jeff Aldrich, who gave it to Neil Giraldo, who produced it on Pat Benatar. And it was a worldwide top 5 single 3 months later, a song called We Belong. And the joy of that discovery, by being able to find that piece of magic in that instant, is what gave me the purpose to pursue that career my whole life. Was, here's my 3 minutes, here you go. And that set me on that path and put me into that world.
If you were to go into a room with like Trump and Putin and Zelensky, they're all trying to solve, not just blow shit up. What do you think these men, what do they need? I mean, you talk about in the book how you say appreciation is everything for a man. We don't always need love, but we crave admiration. What do you think these big men of power could really do to finally get something done right,
I think that Putin is a 14-year-old boy in the worst possible way. Mine, that's mine. I want the Ukraine. I want Crimea. That's mine. It's like the kid on the schoolyard who wants to have a fight with everybody. Yeah. So I think not that they're going to listen to me. I would say, you know what, you guys are children. Why don't you just understand that you will never have everything that you want. It will never be enough, and enough is enough.
Finally, one thing every man should say more often.
Thank you.
What a great book. This was awesome. I really was looking forward to talking to you, especially having a nice little chunk of time and not just, buzzing through 7-8 minutes. And man, gosh, I was tempted to go down so many paths of music and stuff, but hopefully next time I would love another chance at a chat with you. This was really, really fun and rewarding.
Listen, your questions are brilliant. I can see why you're in the business that you're in, and I'm thrilled to be living in your world for a couple of minutes. Thank you so, so much. Talk to you next time.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
The book is called Men Explain, finally. And it's one of those reads that'll make you laugh, nod, even make you understand the man in your life or yourself a little better. You can find it wherever you get your books, and we've got all the links for you in the show notes. And I'm looking forward to the end of the month, the 41st annual Central Coast Writers Conference. It's back. I'm super excited to be a part of it. I'll be leading a brand new workshop called The Art of the Interview, September 26th, 27th, Cuesta College in San Luis Obispo. Now, whether you are a writer, podcaster, journalist, or just someone who wants to ask better questions that actually pull answers, there's specific sessions for you. But if you've ever wanted to explore more of your writing, this entire conference is for you. We'd love to come have you pull a seat at the table. This conference is stacked from best-selling authors to screenwriters, editors, poets, publishers, 2 full days of workshops, live readings, feedback sessions, and creative energy you can't afford to miss out on. So get to the link in the show notes, and I'd love to see you. Cuesta.edu/writers conference. Let's go. September 26th, 27th. I'm so excited to be involved. I would love to see you there. All right, great chat. Great chat with Tom. It's Monday, getting ready for a brand new week. Looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Thanks so much to our friends at Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show, Start Again. Stream them wherever you get your music. Of course, moonshinercollective.com for more. Also, our friends at Timbre Winery, Timbre, TimbreWinery.com. Thanks to them for giving us the Lobro Studios at Timbre. Taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. And to my friends at Timbre, I say happy harvest, because it is going down right now at the Lobro. Thank you to you for rating, reviewing, subscribing to the show wherever you listen to it, and sharing it with a friend. When you do, it means a lot, especially those reviews. It's been a little while since we've seen a review on Apple Podcasts. I would love your 5-star review. If you have it, just takes a second. It means a ton and really puts some traction under the wheels here of this show. So thanks again in advance. Relatively mild week. Temps in San Luis Obispo, mid to upper 70s. We'll see some temps creep into the low 80s by next week. El Paso, North County, a little warmer. Temps in the 80s, mid to upper 80s for a lot of the week. It'll cool down a little bit too. So just a gorgeous week. Sunny, nice. Fall. Not quite yet, but almost. I want to thank you again for connecting. I'm Adam Montiel. Till tomorrow, I hope you have a great beginning to your week and a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being up and at 'em.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start